Welcome back. This time we're looking at some game news again, and it's all revolving around New World. If you don't know already, this news isn't going to be great, but we are going to try and put a positive spin on it. So New World's been delayed again. It's been pushed back to the end of September when it was meant to be the end of this month, obviously. So it was going to be about 4 weeks between the beta ending and the live launch starting. That's no longer the case. Please do continue showing your anger in the comments, as I'm sure you have already started typing, so you might as well carry on. If we think about our time in the beta, it was plagued with random DCs, disgusting queue times to get into the servers, even at unsociable hours where you wouldn't expect them. Basic things missing, like being able to swim. I mean, come on, in what game do you just like walk along and then trundle your way down to the bottom of the ocean rather than actually trying to use your arms? That needs sorting. I also hear a lot of problems around early territory control, leading to companies and specific factions being able to gain massive advantages from an in-game financial aspect, which admittedly I did very little of because I was too busy with my big pick in my hand just thrusting away at veins. I do love mining. I mean, the list goes on. I even watched Josh's video, which I'll put a link in the description to, and the movement bugs he was experiencing were just laughable. Now, please do not confuse the point I'm trying to make here. I'm not slating the game. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the game as a whole. I was as excited as you were for the release. But what is more damaging than pushing a game back a month? Which, by the way, takes some big old cojones. But what's more damaging than pushing a game back a month is releasing a game plagued with bugs. First impressions in an MMO mean everything, and if you're pushing a game out like this, and there's basic animation bugs or basic, movement bugs, basic casting animation bugs, things like that, it's going to put people off instantly and they'll go flocking back to whichever game they came from before. So Amazon are absolutely making the right decision, even though it is the hard decision, don't get me wrong. But let's be real, what would the perfect thing be for them to do now? Bring back the beta! Yes, slightly weirder, not as good looking version of Scott. Bring back the beta, that's right. That way, we as a community can keep up to date with the progress of all the bug fixes, all the changes that they're making, and we can keep giving them feedback throughout, so it doesn't come to an end of a beta where they gather all that feedback and then push it back again. Don't get me wrong, I'm fairly sure this is probably going to be the last pushback, but I think having a beta going on for at least the next 4 weeks so they can gather more feedback as they're changing things on a weekly, daily basis, whatever they're doing it by, it will only make the game better. So I think they should absolutely consider launching this game back up into a beta state as soon as physically possible. Now, I don't plan on this video being too long, but let's move on to something much more positive. Amazon Games are listening. They've took all our feedback and understand that there's some changes that need to be made, some bugs that need squashing, and maybe even further implementation of content for the later levels. There's even been recent leaks on Reddit from data mined info regarding weapons that wasn't in the beta, but are clearly in the game file, such as daggers. Now, I'm speculating here, as someone who's a big feral rogue fan in WoW. I love the rogue playstyle in any game. Could daggers have some sort of stealth mechanic attached to them? Because you know how the weapons work. You get a few different abilities in each tree. One of them could quite easily be a stealth or a vanish or a temporary stealth. Because it's the one sort of play style that I feel is missing from the game. You've got your ranged DPS. Okay, you haven't got a pet class. That's another one which I could see coming in the future. But you haven't got, a stealth class, a ninja type rogue that, pops out of the shadows and just like stabs you in the back. It's great when that happens to you. And in my opinion, it's one play style, as I say, that's just really missing from the game. In fact, no stealthy, sneaky rogue-like character just pouncing out, choosing their victims, picking their fights and knowing when it's an impossible task, then they run quicker than me when I can smell cake. It's just a damn shame. It is a damn shame for it to not be there at launch. There is a bunch of other stuff data mined, such as new zones, which all of these could be used in future patch content, but they're already in the game files. But it's nice to be hopeful to get an even cooler arsenal of weaponry at launch. I've said it before in previous videos, and I'll say it again. I'm super excited to get back into Eternum, and I purposefully stopped playing the beta in the second week just because I wanted it to feel fresh at launch. This clearly was a mistake, and I should have no-lifed it for another week, but that's hindsight for you, eh? But jumping back in to work on all my crafting professions, get myself a couple of houses and smash some expeditions with the boys is an experience I just can't wait to relive, and ultimately all of this is going to be worth the wait to receive the best possible release of a place where, speaking for myself, a lot of people I know will spend a hell of a lot of time. In fact, I can see New World being played with more than Hugh Hefner's no. So look, this was short and sweet. It was just, if you don't know, it's been delayed again. It's unfortunate, but look at the positive side. We may get a beta again. I hope we do. Amazon do seem like they've got their head screwed on, so they probably know that it would be a right move to give us a beta. What are you going to do? You've got 2 months. What are you going to do to kill the time now between now and New World releasing? Me, personally, I'm going to be playing Wrath of the Lich King private servers. Don't tell anyone because you're not meant to play on private servers, but that's what I'm going to be doing. Playing some Ascent, playing some Tribes and Midgard. Back for Blood Beta. There's a lot of things that I'm going to be toying around with. So having these 8 weeks to really play around and get all these other games out of my system before I can just sit down, smash life in Eternum, I'm really looking forward to it. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, subscribe, guys. Make sure you like. Until the next one, peace out.